Give me the fucking money! Do you think I'm joking here? Make that baby shut the fuck up!
They say greed doesn't change people, it just reveals who they really are. And in a quiet American neighborhood filled with tired buildings and broken dreams, greed had a name: Victor Hale. He wasn't famous, he wasn't respected, he was feared. Victor owned nearly every low-income apartment on the East Side. Old staircases, leaking ceilings, cracked walls that whispered stories of suffering. People lived there not because they wanted to, but because they had nowhere else to go. And Victor knew that. Every month on rent day, his black SUV rolled through the streets like a funeral procession. Single mothers clutched envelopes with shaking hands. Elderly men counted wrinkled bills twice. Families prayed their money would be enough. Victor stepped out in polished shoes and expensive suits, wearing a smile colder than winter steel. To him, desperation was business. He charged illegal late fees, raised rent without warning, threatened eviction over $10. If you complained, he laughed. If you begged, he mocked. And if you couldn't pay, he sued. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Tailbox for more interesting stories. Victor had friends, too. 2 corrupt police officers who helped him scare tenants into submission. Uniforms, batons, heavy knocks on doors in the middle of the night. You don't want trouble, right? People paid, not because they could, but because they were afraid. Every night, Victor poured himself expensive whiskey and counted money like trophies. He thought he was untouchable. He thought he owned the city, until Maya moved in. Maya Brooks was quiet, mid-20s, soft-spoken, hard-working. She rented a small 2-bedroom apartment in Victor's worst building. She paid her deposit on time, signed the lease, moved in alone. Victor barely noticed her. To him, she was just another poor tenant. But Maya was different. She worked 2 jobs, studied at night, kept her apartment clean even when the heater broke and water leaked through the ceiling. 2 months later, Victor raised her rent without notice. Maya read the contract. She knew her rights. And for the first time in Victor Hale's life, someone told him no. "I'll pay what's on the lease," Maya said calmly. Victor stared at her like she had committed a crime. "You don't tell me no," he snapped. Maya didn't raise her voice. "You can't change the rent like this." Victor leaned forward, eyes dark. "You'll regret this." 2 days later, the police showed up. Hard knocks, raised voices. They told Maya she was behind on rent. She showed receipts. They didn't care. They threatened eviction, said they could arrest her. But Maya recorded everything on her phone. Then came court papers. Victor sued her, just like he did to everyone else. But this time, Maya didn't cry. She didn't beg. She went home, sat on her bed, and made one phone call. "Dad," she whispered, "he's doing it again." There was silence. Then a deep voice answered, "Send me everything." Maya's father was the county sheriff, and Victor Hale had just made the biggest mistake of his life. Sheriff Daniel Brooks had been chasing housing complaints for years. Anonymous tips, missing evidence, witnesses too scared to speak. Every trail led back to Victor, but nothing ever stuck, until now. Maya handed over recordings, documents, threats, illegal rent notices, and names. Names of tenants Victor had destroyed. Sheriff Brooks didn't storm in with sirens. He moved quietly. He reopened old cases, pulled bank records, tracked money transfers, placed internal affairs on the corrupt officers. Then he visited former tenants one by one. At first, they were terrified. Victor had trained them to fear. But when they saw the sheriff sitting in their living rooms, no uniform, just tired eyes and honest questions, something broke inside them. Stories poured out. Illegal evictions, fake charges, harassment, threats, a pregnant woman forced onto the street, a veteran evicted over $50, an old man choosing between medicine and rent. Victor Hale hadn't just stolen money, he had crushed lives. Court day arrived. Victor walked in confident, tailored suit, gold watch. He thought Maya was just another weak tenant. until he saw the sheriff sitting beside her. His smile disappeared. Then the courtroom filled, not just lawyers, tenants, dozens of them, people Victor believed he had silenced forever. The judge called the case. Victor's lawyer spoke with arrogance, but then Maya took the stand. She played the recordings, the threats, the police intimidation, the illegal rent demands. The courtroom fell silent. Then the tenants testified, one by one, pain after pain, truth after truth. Victor tried to interrupt. The judge warned him. Then Sheriff Brooks stood. He presented bank transfers linking Victor to the corrupt officers, tax fraud, housing violations, bribery, racketeering, evidence stacked higher than Victor's ego. Victor finally broke. He shouted, he cursed, he blamed everyone but himself. But it was over. The verdict came quickly. Guilty on all major charges. The judge ordered Victor's property seized, his accounts frozen. Every dollar recovered went back to the tenants, back rent, damages, relocation funds. People who once feared eviction now held checks and shaking hands. Some cried, some hugged, some just stared, unable to believe justice had finally arrived. Victor Hale, the man who lived like a king, was sentenced to 50 years in federal prison, no parole. As deputies placed handcuffs on him, Victor looked around the courtroom. No one looked back with sympathy, only relief, only freedom. Months later, the buildings were renovated. Fresh paint, working heaters, families moving back in, children playing outside again. Maya finished school. Sheriff Brooks became known as the man who brought down the city's most ruthless landlord. And Victor? Victor sat in a concrete cell, counting cracks instead of cash, learning too late. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Tailbox for more interesting stories. That power built on fear always collapses, that money earned through cruelty never lasts, and that karma doesn't knock, it kicks the damn door in. Because sooner or later, every monster meets justice.